It's Saturday morning. No, it's not November. It's December 6th, year of our Lord 2025. You're locked inside the Doing Lines podcast, part of the Let's Not Do This podcast network. You got the big old Leon Oliver sitting alongside one of the unwisest men in America. Chris is in absentia today, and that roadkill does not pick itself up off the side of the road. He will be missing conference championship Saturdays. We have 5 games across the FBS land, also some FCS playoffs as well. We'll get into those games and also week 14 of the National Football League. Sitting along to my left, always my far left, one Scotty Too Hottie. How are you, sir?
Not too bad, not too bad. Yeah, Chris is hiding because he knows UVA is going to blow it. Talk about that game later, obviously. But yeah, that's what's going on there. He's talked too much trash.
He may have gotten a Greyhound down to Charlotte. You never know. He can't necessarily cross state lines, but they might let him back in the old North State there. Those Dukies will make him feel real at home, I'm sure, down there, and
Yeah,
belittle his intelligence.
I'll find a fence over there to peek through. He's not getting a ticket.
No, there's no way. He might get a ticket as one of the people cleaning up hot dog wrappers after the game. Maybe it might actually double his yearly salary, so he's got that going for him. But yeah,
Or a
Virginia.
ticket for drunk in public.
Virginia and Duke, the most unlikely championship game, if anyone had predicted that for the ACC at the beginning of the year. But we'll get into that in a little bit. Also, week 14 of the NFL. And then, of course, join us here on Wednesdays as we break down Thursday Night Football and get into some weird news and stuff like we did this week with the raccoon that's made international fame here in the Commonwealth of Virginia, breaking into the ABC store and just getting absolutely obliterated, drunk, and passed out in the bathroom, which is probably what Chris is doing right now, and why he's not here. Work my ass. But I digress. And then, of course, we have the Get Loose with Leon podcast. I injured myself this week, Scotty, so I did not have a chance to record that podcast. I'm just going to put those picks up for the final race of the year for F1 live tomorrow morning from Abu Dhabi. Yeah, I'm playing hurt right now, people. So this is my flu game. This is my Jordan flu game right here on these picks.
Yeah, except for you're not dropping 40 or whatever it was that he dropped. I forget what it was. Well, yeah.
Hey, was that the yeah, we're getting old. Everything breaks, everything hurts. You get out of the bed, things start snapping.
You're muted.
There we go. My foot right now looks like the foot from I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker. If you've seen that movie, for people like myself that love our blaxploitation films. But hey, speaking of exploitation, let's exploit our stupidity for these picks that you should probably just go ahead and fade. These picks brought to you by no one. If you want to get involved, help sponsor these picks, help sponsor anything on the show, shoot an email to info@letsnotdothispodcast.com. That's info@letsnotdothispodcast.com. And help us, help you, help us, help you. Let's take a look here and get started. Provo Dave, he's a BYU fan, Dave Portnoy. He's backing those BYU Cougars as they make the trip to Arlington, Texas, take on Texas Tech. Of course, the Cougs that one loss this year at the hands of the Red Raiders in Lubbock. This, of course, at a neutral site now as they take on the number 4 Red Raiders. Noon on ABC. Texas Tech laying 12.5 there in Dallas, just outside Dallas, and the total set at 49.5. We'll go ahead and start with Chris's take on this one. Is he riding with Patrick Mahomes' former team?
I know he's actually going BYU plus the 12.5. I'm sure he's thinking. So initially, I was on this side because BYU should have the bigger motivation to win this game. The more I thought about it, I've been on Texas Tech pretty much all year. I can't go away now, so I'm taking 12.5 minus 12.5 with Texas Tech. So on the opposite side of Chris here, I don't think Texas Tech is going to want to lose to BYU. I think they want that Big 12 championship, and they probably want to also secure a bye if they can. And yeah, they played before. I think it was 29-7. Texas Tech just dominated, like physically. They're just bigger and stronger. So I don't think that really changes here. I think they have the better quarterback, just the better team all around. The crowd, I would imagine, is probably going to be pretty even. So there's a lot of Mormons that are going to be there, a lot of Texas Tech fans. So I don't know if that's going to make a difference. But yeah, initially I was on BYU. The motivation, they have to win to get in, most likely. But also, if Texas Tech loses with that, you never know with that SEC bias and them wanting to get certain teams in, they could, depending on who wins today, they could knock them out. That shouldn't happen, probably won't happen, but you just never know. I'm sure that might be floating around in their locker room too. So I think Texas Tech shows up and it looks similar to the first game, and they cover this number.
I'm going to go on the opposite side of this one for you here. I think Texas Tech is going to get the win. It's hard to beat a team twice in one season. Obviously, the way they beat BYU earlier this year in Lubbock, just everything that could go wrong did go wrong for the Cougs on the road in that one. Okay, well, now you have a somewhat neutral site. There is a large Texas Tech fan contingent in that DFW area, and so I'm sure they're making a trip from West Texas as well, hitching up their wagons and getting their Boone's Farm to make that trip there. BYU always travels well no matter where they go. So I think you're right. The crowd should maybe be 50-50, 60-40 or so. But I think BYU knows they're playing with a lot of disrespect right now. No one's really talking about them for at-large berth. They know they have to win this game to get into the college football playoff. And the way they were beaten by Texas Tech earlier in the year, teams don't beat BYU that way. BYU will lose a close game, but you don't see BYU get beat up and physically dominated the way that they did earlier this year in Lubbock. So I think with those two motivating factors there, I think BYU is going to show up. You know, that defense is good. They had some turnovers in that game against Texas Tech, but they are +6 on the year in turnover differential. Bear Bachmeier has a low interception ratio. He does not throw the ball over, turn the ball over a lot. I think they're going to fix some of the things, get that rushing attack going that they couldn't the first time around against the Red Raiders. I think Texas Tech wins this game, maybe like a 31-24, 31-21 kind of game. But I think BYU covers this one. And they'll probably be on the outside looking in of the playoff after a remarkable 11-2 season, unfortunately.
All right. I saved us from all being on the same side.
There we go. Moving on down the road here to the MAC championship game. Miami of Ohio, those Redhawks taking on Western Michigan, the Broncos. Miami of Ohio 7-5, Western Michigan 8-4. This game at Ford Field in Detroit Rock City, noon on the mothership. The Broncos laying the 1.5, total set at 43.5. Where are you going on this one, Scotty?
I have no clue. I haven't watched either of these teams, but I do know I saw the Miami quarterback. That was the guy that basically is holding out for the draft, right?
Yeah, Pinner or whatever his name is. He opted out during the middle of the season.
Bold choice for a quarterback for Miami. I know this line has come down a little bit, so maybe some value on Western Michigan now. I don't know. Give me Western Michigan minus the 1.5. That's what Chris has too.
So Western Michigan looking for their first MAC championship since 2016 in this one here. Miami of Ohio, they're ground heavy. They do like the ground and pound. I think their offense averages like 400 yards a game or something like that, but they do like to keep it on the ground. That quarterback that's stepping in right now, Thomas Gatkowski, redshirt freshman there, post Finn opting out. He went 12-24 in his last game for 226 and 3 touchdowns, but he added 44 yards on the ground as well. If he can be efficient, keep them on schedule, and not get them into 3rd and long type situations and allow them to stay on script and let Jordan Brunson run the ball a little bit. They got a decent wide receiver on the outside in Reggie Virgil. He's got 45 grabs, 612 yards, and 6 touchdowns this year. He's a decent deep threat too, with an 18.3 yards per catch, and they play solid defense. I'm going to go with the Redhawks. Give me Miami of Ohio here, plus the points to get a win there in the MAC championship game. I like them to win outright, but I'll go ahead and take them plus the 1.5 there at Ford Field.
All right, let me see if there's a better number here.
With bated breath. By the way, don't douse Miami of Ohio quarterback, sir. Don't forget about one Ben Roethlisberger, the cradle of coaching.
That guy is not Ben Roethlisberger. because nobody heard of him until he declared
Decided
for
to
the
opt
draft
out in the middle of the
mid-season.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah. The cradle of
All
coaches
right.
there, Miami of Ohio.
We can come back to that. Oh wait, here we
Okay.
go. I don't want to use these peer-to-peer sites for this
Okay.
because it's not a guarantee you can get it. Like
Okay.
somebody has to match it.
I'll navigate away from it. I'll
Plus
take
two.
the +2.
You
Give
can
me
get
the
plus two
+2. All right. Give me the +2.
on
I'll take that.
Fanatics.
On Fanatics. Fanatics, give me the damn fan cash. I've been locked out for like 3 months. Every Friday, everyone, it's like that SpongeBob meme where he's looking out the window and like everyone's playing outside. That's everyone posting the fan cash that they get on Fridays from the fan cash drop. Meanwhile, I get a big fat nothing. Nothing.
Because you keep using it on $1 million parlays.
Hey, Ryder Chelsea Buck show, you don't ride at all, Moving on down the line here. Atlanta for the SEC Championship game. Surprise, surprise. Once again, it is Alabama and Georgia. Kirby Smart 1-7, I believe, all time against the Crimson Tide. That is his bugaboo. Georgia, number 3 team in the land, 11-1. Bama, number 9 team in the land, 10-2. Georgia laying the 1.5, total at 48.5 at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, 4 o'clock on ABC. And by the way, a somber SEC championship game as former SEC Commissioner Roy Kramer just recently passed away in the last couple of days. He was the man who he gave us the SEC championship game. I believe the original one was back in '92, if I remember. So he was his idea to come up with the conference championship game, and you see how everything's kind of taken off and exploded since then. He kind of set the SEC to be the way the conference that we think about it now, the way it's kind of taken over. It was kind of his vision. RIP to Roy Kramer, his friends and family and everything. Certainly a visionary in the college football world.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I'm a wealth of knowledge, if anything else. Take me to the bar. I'm good on trivia night.
All right.
Yeah.
I guess me and Chris will go first here. Chris is taking Georgia -1.5. That was almost my bet, but like I've said on the show a few times, every time I bet against Alabama, it doesn't work out. But I don't know if I can really bet on Bama either. Bama has a little bit of a UVA vibe as far as winning a lot of games that they could have lost easily. And Georgia's been playing better as of late. Their defense has been playing better. So I'm actually going to go with the under 48.5 here. Don't know how motivated Georgia's going to be, or really Alabama for that matter. I think Alabama's Alabama. They probably feel pretty safe even if they lose. I think the committee's still going to get them in. So, yeah, who knows? Maybe two teams that kind of don't really go balls out. Maybe try to rest some guys, or they might play with the same intensity they always do. Who knows? But either way, I think I'm going with the under, whether both teams try or not. Yeah, both defenses pretty good. Well, Bama's been struggling a little bit, I guess, but yeah, I don't see this number getting over the 48.5.
Okay. Where's Chris at on this?
Georgia -1.5.
Georgia minus the 1.5. So these two teams played earlier this year. Bama got the win 24-21. That was a game where Bama was shut out in the second half of that game. Georgia scored 7 points in the third quarter. Of course, we know about Georgia in second halves of games. This is the interesting one because Bama comes in right now, number 10 team in the land. If they lose, could they maybe be in a spot where they find themselves on the outside looking in of the playoffs? I was listening to Josh Pate earlier this week with Cole Kublik, and Kublik brought up an interesting point. If a loss in the championship game ends up costing an SEC team, we could potentially wouldn't be surprised me to see this thing go away next year because you have to adapt to the new reality of the playoff. And if you have a team like Notre Dame, they can't improve their resume. Miami, they cannot improve their resume. They're not playing this week. Vanderbilt, same thing. But then you have a team like Alabama who can take another loss this week and potentially play themselves out. What does this say for the future of this game? And what one conference does, the rest of them are going to follow, especially the SEC. So it'll be an interesting case study if Bama loses this game, then finds himself on the outside looking in. But looking at it from a betting standpoint, listen, I've been all over this when I've picked it, and I've been chasing it on the wrong side of it the last couple times. Georgia's the best second half team in the country. I've been chasing them on the third quarter. I got screwed before. I chased them on the fourth quarter. I got screwed before. Give me Georgia money line in the second half, and I'm trying to look for the best line on that right now. I had my halves up earlier and it went away from me. Georgia on DraftKings right now, I'm seeing it at minus 110. I'm not sure if you see another number out there, but give me Georgia minus 110 in the second half of this game. I have no idea who's going to win this game, but I know Georgia's going to win the second half of this game.
I don't know. When they played Charlotte, they only scored 7 points in the second half.
They were trying to make sure no one got injured and no one got a speeding ticket leaving the stadium when they played.
They might do that here.
Yeah,
they might do that here.
So Georgia minus, give me Georgia money line second half on this one. All right. Moving on down the road to Charlotte. Well, I guess we'll be up the road from Atlanta. Nope, never mind. We're going to Indianapolis. I got Charlotte on the next one there. Going to Indianapolis for the Big Ten championship game. The number one team in the land, the Ohio State Buckeyes, 12-0. They come rolling into there to take on the Indiana Hoosiers, also 12-0. Scotty does a great bar in Bloomington, Indiana called Kilroy's. Great college bar. From what I saw yesterday, they were taking reservations for tables for this game. $2,500 was the price to get a table at Kilroy's for this game. I think the get-in price online on some ticket sites was in the $500 to $600 range. I mean, this is Ohio State, Indiana, the clash of the Titans here. Buckeyes laying the 3.5, total at 46.5, 8 o'clock tonight on Fox. You and Chris can go ahead and start off. Let's see what you have to say.
Yeah, for all that, this is pretty much a game that really doesn't mean anything. The new format we got kind of makes this game pointless, which kind of sucks. But I'm going with Indiana. There's a couple 4.5s. FanDuel has a 4.5 for Indiana, so I'm gonna take 4.5 with Indiana. I think they're gonna put more effort. They're gonna want to win this game more. Signetti's not gonna let them think this game doesn't mean anything. He wants to win everything. Especially he's at Indiana. I don't know if they've ever won the Big 12, but if they have, I'd imagine it was years ago.
Big 10.
Big 10. So I meant, I meant. Yeah, and then Ohio State, they could lose. They're still going to get a bye. I don't think they care about this game at all. They just beat Michigan. That's all Ryan Day was probably really worried about this year was beating Michigan. And now they could lose this game, still get a bye. Still meet Indiana later and beat them then. So yeah, the only thing that scares me a little bit is this could be kind of a Heisman decider here. These are the two or three favorites for the Heisman. So maybe Sayin wants to get out there and put up some numbers, but yeah, I don't know. Indiana has been playing really well. They're getting 4.5 points in a neutral site. Yeah, man, just give me Indiana. I think they're going to win the game outright, and I could just see Ohio State second half just calling off the dogs. Okay. And then so that's my pick. Chris is on the same side as me.
Okay, going with Indiana here in this one. So you mentioned you don't know if Indiana's ever won the Big Ten championship. They have two, one in 1945, the other in 1967. So yeah. It's been quite some time since the Hoosiers lifted the conference title in something that wasn't men's soccer or men's basketball. So, listen, Indiana's offense, is prolific, but we've seen them sputter at times this year. They only scored 27 against ODU. We saw an Iowa team hold them to 20 points there in Iowa City. Penn State almost knocked them off in Happy Valley, and they held them to 27 there. They scored 31 against Wisconsin, but wasn't exactly the most impressive showing in the world. This Ohio State team, more specifically this Ohio State defense, is phenomenal. The most points they've given up this year, I believe, was to Illinois, and that's when they beat them 34-16 in Urbana-Champaign when the Illini were the number 17 team in the land. They've held nearly everyone under double-digit scores almost all season long. I am going to go with Indiana's team total on this, and I see this on DraftKings at 20.5. I'm taking the under. It's minus 105. Give me under 20.5 points for Indiana's team total in this game. We've seen them sputter against good defenses. Iowa's a good defense. This is a great defense. And I know, with the newfound interest in Indiana football, certainly they're in their home state. There are going to be a lot of Hoosier fans there. Ohio State's fans have bought tickets for this when the schedule came out. It's just a rite of passage for them to know that they're going to be there. It's going to be a whole bunch of scarlet and gray there. It's going to feel like you're in Columbus there. It ain't Indianapolis ain't that far away from Columbus. It's going to be packed with Buckeyes, and they're going to be going against some dudes, And I know Caleb Downs said earlier, I believe in the week, that the difference between the SEC and the Big Ten is like you're playing guys every single week, whereas in the SEC, whereas in the Big Ten, you're not seeing those guys every single week. You're seeing, a couple weeks out of the season, you're seeing some dudes. Indiana ain't faced dudes like these dudes that they're going to see in scarlet and gray on the sideline this year. I don't think they're ready for it. I think Ohio State wins this game, and I think they stifle that Indiana offense. So give me under 20.5 for Indiana's offensive output.
So FanDuel and the score has it at 21.5 at our minus 120 limit.
Boom. Give it to me.
All right.
Moving on down the line there, who would have thunk it? The ACC Championship game. We're not talking basketball. We're not talking lacrosse. We're not talking men's soccer. We're not talking baseball. We're talking football. It's Duke and Virginia. Cavaliers wearing their 95 throwbacks again. They use those to beat Florida State and Virginia Tech. It's the third time the charm as the number 17 Hoos look to punch their first ever trip to the college football playoff. 10-2 team in the land, but Duke looking to disrupt everything and maybe put JMU into the field at 7-5 if they get a win over Virginia. 8 o'clock on ABC. Hoos laying 4.5. Total set at 57.5. How big does Chris have Virginia winning? Because I know he has Virginia winning.
Well, he just sent over the -4, but there are some 3.5s out there, so we're going to give him UVA -3.5. Obviously, he's on them no matter what. The blind faith in UVA. I'm going Duke, obviously. I think Duke's going to win this game. And I think it's going to be a toss-up on the committee between Duke and JMU. I think that you could see Duke in the playoff. JMU should be in, but we know how these things go. But yeah, I think Duke's going to win. Duke has been underachieving all year, UVA overachieving all year, and I think that kind of flips tonight. And I think Duke shows up and UVA's string of luck finally catches up with them, and Duke looks like the team they were supposed to. And then we have a 8-5 ACC champion to just cause all kinds of chaos in the college football committee, and then we get to hear their bullshit excuse on why they choose who they choose at the end. But yeah, give me Duke. I think they're the better team. They're going to win outright. So give me Duke plus 4.5. There's some 4.5s on BetMGM.
Wow, Duke plus the 4.5. The crowd will be interesting here. Obviously, not that far from Charlottesville. Obviously, Durham is closer. How many Duke football fans are out there willing to make that trip? Don't the Blue Devils play basketball today? Don't they have a decent?
That's what I was checking. If they have a day game today, then
I know
they play at noon. They play. They're not at home though. Where are they at?
Duke is playing Michigan State in East Lansing.
Where is it?
In East Lansing at noon. Yeah, so Blue Devil fans can get to Charlotte, can get to a sports bar, watch that game. Virginia fans, Virginia's playing Dayton in basketball in Charlotte at the Spectrum Center today. So both fan bases actually, you got even more incentive to do a little double dip if you're a Who, and if you're a Blue Devil, you can catch your basketball team and then go to the ACC Championship game. It should be interesting to see what the fan turnout's like there. But listen, Virginia dominated this team in Durham a few weeks ago, 34-17. The score wasn't that close. It wasn't a 34-17 game. Duke looked like a team that wasn't going to win a game the rest of the year in that game. Then they turn around, they beat Carolina. We know the issues with Carolina. They beat Wake, and now they find themselves in this game. You mentioned, if Duke wins, I can't see a scenario where they get in. Their losses, if there's such thing as a good loss, yeah, they lost to Illinois when they were 11. They lost to the American champion Tulane in New Orleans. They lost to Georgia Tech when they were 12. They lost at a good UConn team, 37-34 in stores. They lost to Virginia at home by 17. So, I mean, their losses weren't, there's no awful loss. They didn't lose the East Tennessee State or something like that. They didn't lose to Cal or Stanford or whatever it may be. But what's their best win? NC State, maybe? Like, I just, who have they beaten to like deserve to get into the field? The Virginia would be their best win, obviously, if they win this game to make a case. I don't think we're going to have to worry about that. Virginia's played a lot of close games this year, but somehow, some way, they found a way to pull things out. I think the offense is clicking. I think they have confidence. These guys have rallied around themselves. They believe in Tony Elliott and Chandler Morris. You know, when he came to Charlottesville, he said he came here to win a championship, and everyone, including myself, laughed at him. And, you know, he's making us all eat crow right now. And this is the opportunity for him to go ahead and submit those and become a UVA legend in his 1 year in orange and blue. Give me the Cavaliers to cover the 4 points. And honestly, I don't think it's pretty. I think they're going to dominate them like they did a couple of weeks ago in Durham. Give me Virginia minus the 4 points for their first ever outright ACC championship. Virginia has two. They tied with Duke in '89, Spurrier's last year. They tied with Florida State in '95. They've never won an outright ACC championship. I can't believe I'm saying this. Virginia rolls Duke and wins their first ever outright ACC football championship.
There's some 3.5s out there. So
okay.
you and
Give
Chris
me
get 3.5. I'm not saying Duke deserves to get in. They don't. JMU absolutely deserves to get in under the current format. But the committee hates the little guy. So the NCAA hates the little guy. So if there's any way they can get an ACC team in, they're going to do it. They're going to say, JMU struggled in the first half because they've kind of used that, this team almost lost this game. They used that in one of their conversations on the ESPN interview a couple of weeks ago. So they could use that. Maybe they only watched the first half of the JMU game. Who knows?
Maybe one of the staffers got hit with snowballs because the Dukes fans were chucking those snowballs yesterday there. Which, hey, what do you put the student section next to that? Have you been to Harrisonburg? Have you been around the JMU kids? UVA kids don't say just missed the university for nothing. All right, they ain't necessarily a group of rocket scientists, but they like to drink. They're a smarter version of Radford kids, and you know they're fun to hang out with, and they're rowdy. They're like our App State in the state of Virginia. You know, like. They didn't get into the big school. They went to the other school, and damn it, they got a chip on their shoulder, and they're ready to prove it. But yeah, you
Speaking
put
of chips
there.
on the shoulder, I think that UVA chip might be gone. Now they're a favorite. Everybody expects them to win this game. Go Duke.
Interesting point.
But yeah, that snow that might have turned the game around because they're talking up that punter, which is not a good sign for your team. The best punter in the nation. They were really talking him up, and then he shanks it because he was getting hit with snowballs. And if that didn't happen, who knows? Maybe we're talking about something different here.
You mentioned special teams. The punter last night in the JMU game, Virginia has very good special teams. If it comes down to a late kick or field position on the punt, Virginia has excellent special teams. So something to keep in mind there on this one here. All right. Transitioning over to the National Football League. Scotty, I'm going away from our traditional going back and forth of whose games. I just stacked them up in order here. So Sunday in Orchard Park there in Buffalo, you got the Bills at 8-4, taking on the 4-8 Bengals. Buffalo laying the 6. 53.5 is number 1 o'clock on Fox. One of you guys has this game on the card. I can't remember which one.
We both have it. Chris is going with the over. There's a 53 out there, so over 53 on Bet Rivers. Just thinking about a lot of points here. Both defenses have been struggling. Joe Burrow came back last week, didn't miss a beat, which is why I am on the Bengals plus the 6. I just can't trust the Bills to play 2 good games in a row. They played well last week, got the big win. But like I said, Burrow's back. He didn't miss a beat last week, and I think that continues. I think they're going to have a chance to win this game. Probably will be a lot of points, and yeah, I just think 6 is too much. So give me the Bengals, who are playing well right now.
So for me, I almost had this on my card, but I did take it off. That total 53 and a half. I think the last time I looked at the weather on the AccuWeather, I think they were saying it's going to be like 32 and rainy or so, I believe. Maybe some wintry, frozen kind of stuff. Doesn't necessarily make for a offensive output, no matter how bad Cincinnati's offense is. I think both teams might want to run the ball a little bit if it's going to be slick out there. Give me the under 53 and a half. If I had to bet it, I would go under 53 and a half in this game.
All right.
Moving on down the line here, we are heading over to Cleveland as the Brownies, Chris's Cleveland Browns, 3-9 on the year, taking on the 1-11 Tennessee Titans. Cleveland laying the 4.5. The total set at a disgusting 33 and a half, 1 o'clock on Fox. I don't have a lot of stats on this one. All I have to tell you on this is Myles Garrett is a terrorist. He's a terrorist for offensive linemen and quarterbacks. What has he got, like 19 sacks on the year or something like that? He is a menace. And then you have one of the most sacked quarterbacks, if not the most sacked quarterback in the league, I believe, and Cam
Yeah.
Ward. That offensive line is Swiss cheese. If you believe in voodoo, if you believe in, the good Lord, if you believe in Allah, whatever it is, you may want to say a prayer tonight for Cam Ward for his well-being tomorrow. Because Myles Garrett is going to assault him physically and mentally tomorrow. He's going to be on the ground a lot. Give me Cleveland to cover that 4.5. I almost went with Myles Garrett with 2 sacks in this game, but that's too crazy. Give me Cleveland to cover the 4.5. This game is disgusting.
There's some 3.5s out there.
Okay, give me the 3.5.
Where'd you get these lines from? DraftKings?
Yeah, I got it from DraftKings.
Or ESPN? Yeah, that's the only 4.5 out there. So we'll give you the Browns minus 3.5.
Okay.
I'm not touching that side either way. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to look at a player prop. The over under, kind of like the over. You can see maybe some turnovers to put both offenses in some good positions. Something crazy happened at the end for the over to hit, probably. So if I had to bet a side or a total, would probably be the over that low number. But yeah, this game's disgusting.
It is gross. I have a rule that if the total is under 40 in an NFL game, I always bet the over. I will be betting the over, but I'm not officially putting this on the card. 33 and a half. I would take that as a personal affront as a professional athlete playing in the National Football League if the over under is at 33 and a half in a game.
Yeah, and I can see Tennessee maybe throwing a lot, which will stop the clock. A lot of incompletions.
Yeah. Somebody, if you sell flak jackets, somebody go and call Cam Ward now. He may need one for his rib cage because Myles Garrett is going to. It's going to literally be like Florida State in the '90s when what was it, Michael Boulware and all. I forget the other defensive end. They would meet at the quarterback, like they would literally like knock guys out of games. I'm like legitimately concerned about Cam Ward's health and well-being going into this game with Myles Garrett just waiting to tee off on him. I'm legitimately concerned. I feel like his mother right now. Like mom needs to come out of the stands and say, "Stop hitting my baby," because like Myles Garrett is going to dismantle him tomorrow.
Actually, I do kind of want to see the Shador versus Cam Ward though.
Yeah, there'll be
a
quarterback
interesting post game handshake after the clips a couple years ago of them two. So yeah, that's the only thing that's entertaining about this game though.
Gross. Yeah. Moving on down in those Cleveland uniforms, they're so bad they're good. These I forgot what they're calling them, the Alpha Dog or Dog Pound uniforms, whatever they are that they're wearing. They're so gross they're good. Moving on down the line here, speaking of gross, the Jets wearing their rivalries uniforms as they're 3-9. They're at the Meadowlands at MetLife Stadium, taking on the 5-7 Dolphins. 1 o'clock on CBS, America's most watched network, the network of stars. Miami laying the 2.5. Over under at 41.5. Is Chris riding with the Dolphins in potentially cold weather? What is he saying?
He does not have this game.
I thought he did. You do. Okay.
I have it. Yeah. I'm going with the Jets. There's some threes out there. I'm taking the Jets +3. I'm not buying all this Miami improvement. They shouldn't be a road favorite against anybody. Jets playing a little better with Tyrod Taylor out there. Yeah, I could see Tua. I think it says 41 degrees right now, which isn't super cold, but Tua doesn't like the cold weather at all. This is
No,
about the time he starts falling apart. So yeah, I like the Jets to win this game and at home, and we see the December Tua come to surface. Yeah, give me the Jets.
I don't have this on my card, but I agree with you on this one. I like the Jets plus the points on this. Wouldn't shock me if they won this game outright.
Uh-oh.
Uh, I mean, look, this you can see growth with this team a little bit. They're you can tell they're starting to believe in Aaron Glenn and they're rallying around him. I love his animation of the sideline. You can tell he cares about his players, and you could tell that those guys want to play for him. They want to perform for him. You're right. Tua in adverse weather conditions, not the best thing in the world. I'm still not sold on this Miami team, as you said, even though they've been playing better the last couple of weeks. I think the Jets run the ball a little bit. They got a couple of decent backs there in Hall and Allen. They can ground and pound it a little bit if they want to. Yeah, give me the Jets plus the points if I had to bet on this one.
Yeah.
Moving on down the line here, we are traveling to Sin City, a rare color versus color matchup in the NFL. The Broncos wearing the orange and the Raiders wearing the iconic silver and black. 405 CBS at the Death Star there in Vegas. Denver laying the 7.5 points, total set at 40.5.
Yeah, Chris has this on his card. I do not. He's taking the points with the Raiders. So yeah, plus 7.5. If I had to pick a side, I'd probably agree with that. Denver plays these close games like every week. It seems like almost. Raiders at home. Broncos win. Raiders cover probably, but the Raiders are also so bad that I might look at a prop or something on this one.
It's funny. Denver, I feel like plays to the level of their competition, like each week. And a game like this would not surprise me. If I almost said Oakland, if Vegas hangs around in this one, but Denver gets the win, it should be this game's going to be a lot closer than what it should be and what it needs to be. Is are we going to see good Bo Nix or bad Bo Nix? Also, I'm intrigued about the Denver rushing attack, what we get from Harvey on this game. You could potentially look at the under a little bit. I mean, Vegas has really no passing attack, but if they can get Ginty going, Denver obviously has a very stout defense. But if we see a heavy dose of Ginty and a heavy dose of Harvey, maybe shy toward the under if you're betting on this one. But if I was putting this game on my card, I would probably take Vegas plus the points as well. So for the sake of the show, it's probably a good thing that I don't have it because we are all in agreement here.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, that hook, it's like they want you to take it there.
Yeah, it's so inviting. It's
I'm
sitting
staying
there.
away from that.
Yeah. That is a landmine ready for you to step on. So, by the way, Denver, how many wins in a row is that for Denver? What are they, like 9 wins in a row?
Like it's either 9 or 10. It might be 10.
They're on fire.
Start the win too.
Denver and New England, man. Who would have thunk it? Just reeling off wins. I know Chris is anti Sean Payton. He has been since I pretty much think that the moment Chris came out the womb, he was like, screw Sean Payton, and he's just had a vendetta. Like Sean Payton was probably coaching like high school somewhere back when Chris was born, and he was like, fuck Sean Payton. Like for whatever reason, he fades Sean Payton consistently, and I don't think it's working out too well for him.
I'm not a huge fan of Sean Payton either.
All right, taking a look here. We're going to Green Bay, 425 on Fox. The suddenly number 1 seed Chicago Bears. Who'd have thunk it? 9-3, taking on the Packers. Pack 8-3-1. Packers laying the 6.5. Total set at 44.5. 425 on Fox.
Yeah, this is on my card. This is my last game. I was debating on the under and the Packers. I can kind of fade Caleb Williams. Either way here, I'm going to go with the under because I still don't trust Jordan Love to cover this, even though I think they're going to. But give me the under. There's a 45 on Bet Rivers. So that's what I'm taking. It's supposed to be 19 degrees. Let me see if that's changed at all. 19 degrees and 8 mile-an-hour winds, which isn't super bad, but I mean, the steady breeze and 19-degree weather and Caleb Williams against a top defense. Yeah, they're going to shut this offense down. They're going to stop the run game. Caleb Williams is going to have a rough go of it. So then I think it's just going to come down to what the Packers do. I could see them maybe running the ball a lot. And you just never know what Jordan Love and those receivers are going to do. Is this a game where he goes for 3 touchdowns, 3, 4 touchdowns, or does he hold on to the ball for 20 seconds each time and get sacked 4 or 5 times? So yeah, I just don't think the Bears are going to score many points at all. And yeah, I like the under 45.
Under 45. Okay. I'm going to take Chicago plus the points here. Give me Chicago plus the 6.5. I'll take more if there's a better number out there. You mentioned the weather conditions. No stranger to Chicago. They're used to this outdoors. Obviously, I know Caleb Williams, early in his career, but he's, predominantly a warm weather quarterback, obviously in college, but he'll get used to playing in this stuff, obviously in the NFC North, or as I like to call it, the NFC Nordic division with all those cold weather environments there. But look, Chicago, when they during this streak where they've reeled off some games, what have they been doing well? Running the football. What travels well this time of year? Running the football. DeAndre Swift, Kyle Monangai, they have a great 1-2 punch there. You won't have to ask Caleb Williams to do a ton. You got the tight ends and Colston, Loveland, and Komet. Obviously, I know Rome Odunze is not playing, so that certainly takes a weapon out of the passing attack, but I don't think they're going to have to ask him to do a lot. We saw what Detroit did with those two running backs against Dallas, obviously Jahmyr Gibbs on Thursday night, who laid the foundation of that offense. Ben Johnson, who's the head coach of the Chicago Bears. Ben Johnson, he's taken that 1-2 punch with the running backs to Chicago, and it's working right now. I think you're going to see a heavy dose of both of those guys on the ground. Maybe some rollouts for Caleb, hit the tight ends, a little play action, maybe go deep to DJ Moore over the top if they start pressing up. I like Chicago to cover this 6.5. Wouldn't shock me if they went to Green Bay and got this win. Packers have been another 8-3-1, but they've been kind of up and down at times this year. It would not shock me if Chicago won this game, but I definitely think they cover the 6.5 on the road there at Lambeau.
All right. Yeah, I don't know about the side. I feel like it's gonna be a game where the Packers win, the Bears shouldn't cover, but some weird shit happens and they end up losing by like 4.
I can't believe we live in a world where if the Bears pull this off, they would be 10-3. If I told you before the season started that we would be in Week 14 with the Bears going to Green Bay and potentially getting a win to go to 10-3, would you have considered that to be more likely, or the government telling us the aliens are real and they're at Area 51? Which one would you have considered to be more likely?
I would believe the aliens.
Maybe
it doesn't matter. They're going to lose their first playoff game, so.
Maybe the Bears have alien technology that they've harvested from the aliens, and that's why they're rolling right now. Who knows?
I get kind of an alien vibe from Ben Johnson. I could see that.
I get an alien vibe from Caleb Williams. I get an alien.
Yeah.
If like an alien and Prince had sex and had a kid, I think it would be Caleb Williams. And he's just weird enough that it works. So.
Well, okay. We're not going to get in that conversation. Okay. I still don't think he's that good. They're not winning because of him. He's doing a good job of not losing games for them this year. But yeah, I still don't think he's that good.
Yeah, I mean his completion percentage, I think it's the lowest of all qualified starters. I believe I saw this week in the league. They're not asking him to go out there and be a gunslinger and throw for 350 yards and 4 touchdowns. He's not Matthew Stafford. I don't think he's ever going to be Matthew Stafford or anyone like that. But I think he's a damn good quarterback if he does turn the ball over, can use his legs a bit. I think he fits into perfectly with what Ben Johnson wants to do with this. But obviously, the bread and butter for them, I think, to get a win and to make a playoff run is going to be to play good defense and to give a heavy dose to those two running backs. And knock on wood, if they stay healthy, that's going to be one of the biggest things, especially if you get bad weather and them getting home playoff games at Soldier Field.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Then moving on down the line here, we got the Rams heading to the desert, taking on the Cardinals. LA 9-3, Arizona 3-9, 425 on Fox. LA laying the 7.5, total set at 48.5. I believe no Marvin Harrison for the Cardinals there. Who's got this one? I think
I was gonna say I don't have it, Chris.
Yeah, I think it was me. I picked my games earlier in the week, and then there was a couple that popped into my head that I thought about transitioning to that y'all put on there. I forgot I had this one. Don't have a lot of stats on this one. No Marvin Harrison Jr. The Rams obviously licking their wounds from last week. We saw Matthew Stafford's interception streak come to an end there, and he threw two, I believe, back to back in that loss to Carolina. Listen, the Cardinals have no fans. No one cares. Half of Southern California is going to make the short jaunt down to Phoenix, Glendale to this game. It's going to be a lot of Rams. You might hear that whose house, Rams house there. Rams are going to roll. Give me LA to cover the 7.5. I'm not even going to spend a lot of time worried about this game. This is a get right game for the Rams to show that, hey, you know what? We stubbed our toe against a surprising Panthers team, but they're going to show the NFL they are who we think they are in a good way this week.
So this line has moved. I don't see any 7.5s out there anymore. It's 8.5s is the best number I'm seeing now.
Okay, but, give me the 8.5. I like them by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I do too. Being a road favorite this big could be tricky, but Rams losing like they did last week, I think they bounce back and run up the score.
It's I agree with you. It's a perfect get right spot for them.
Yeah. Cardinals a little better than what their record is, but yeah, I think I agree. The Rams should roll this one.
And I believe I saw Jonathan Gannon say no Kyler Murray for the rest of the year. He's not coming back. So he may have played his last snaps in the desert. We'll see what happens in the offseason.
Yeah.
But Kyler Murray, I'm sure, is at home right now playing Call of Duty or Forza or Gran Turismo, whatever. I'm sure he's happier than a clam right now. All right. Taking a look here. We got Monday Night Football in LA. Justin Herbert, valiant effort going out there with the hand just days after surgery, taking on Philadelphia. Eagles 8-4, Rams 8-4, Philly laying at 2.5 there at SoFi. Total set at 41.5. Monday night, that says Prime Video. That should say ESPN. That was I ported that graphic over from Thursday night and forgot to change that out, so that's on me. But yeah, ESPN 8:15 on Monday night.
Yeah, Chris has this. He's thinking the Chargers plus the 2.5. This one's tricky. Chargers feel like the right side, but I know Jalen Carter's out, and that's big for the Eagles. But that Chargers offensive line, even without Jalen Carter, I don't know if they can hold up. So that's probably what the game is going to come down to. The Eagles haven't been great. It's finally kind of caught up to them a little bit. Yeah, so I think that's what it comes down to. Can the Chargers block the Eagles long enough for Herbert to get rid of the ball? Can they create some running lanes? And can the Eagles show up? Can they get out whatever funk they're in? But yeah, give me the I would take the Chargers too. Not on my card, but it's on Chris's plus the 2.5. Or maybe the under also.
My big concern on this one is obviously Justin Herbert and like his hand. Like, just how are you going to take the snaps under center? Like, how much is that going to affect you if you get you're not even an if you're going to get hit on that hand? Guys are going to you're going to get landed on. You're going to hit your hand on someone's helmet, whatever it may be. There we go. I was trying to load that new one in there with the correction to ESPN. There we go. That's the one thing that would keep me away from LA on this one. Obviously, whenever a team goes across country, I'm a little worried, especially as a favorite. And Philadelphia is like literally you can make it like an 80s TV show out of the Eagles. It's like they're a successful family. It's almost like the TV show Dallas. Like they're successful, right? But no one likes it. Everyone. There's like fighting and just going on. Their TV show is Young and the Restless with the Eagles. Like every single week. I don't know how it works. They're the most dysfunctional defending Super Bowl champion 8-4 team I've ever seen in my entire life. It seems like every week everyone's at each other's throats. Then you got the Hard Knocks coming out this week, and like, oh yeah, these guys do talk and hang out and stuff. I just don't know what to make of this Philadelphia team. It's a traveling reality show each week with who doesn't like who's upset, who's not getting the ball. Somehow, some way they win games, but they ain't in the most sexy fashion. Because of Herbert's hand, I stayed away from this. I feel like I would take Philly to cover the points, but that's Herbert's hand is why I stayed away from this game.
Yeah, Eagles got to figure out if they want to get A.J. Brown the ball or if they want to win.
And at what point is
quite a conundrum.
At what point is Saquon Barkley going to show up this season, or are they just not a ground and pound team anymore? Like, did they use them all up last year? Like, he hasn't had that big home run hitting punch. We haven't seen those runs. Like, even the tush push isn't as effective this year as it's been in past years, even with the false starts that they don't get called for. I don't know. Maybe they need to air it out more.
Yeah, maybe Saquon with the injuries and the mileage. He's 28 now. Maybe he's starting to hit that wall that running backs hit. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, the Giants did use the hell out of them when they had them, and then Philadelphia, obviously, I mean, they drove it till the wheels fell off last year, and we maybe seen the flip side of that now this season. And you're right, 28 years old, running backs when they get to 30 is usually a no go. So, all right, moving on over to our underdog parlay this week. Listen, hand up to God. Last couple weeks, underdog parlay. It's me. All right, listen, Kentucky. I'm glad Mark Stoops seems like he's a great guy. Seems like he loves the state of Kentucky. I think he's going to stay there. He needed to go. All right, you don't get your ass whooped like you did in the Commonwealth Cup there, or Governor's Cup in Louisville, like they did last week. I had the Cats. That was just absolutely embarrassing. I think it was 47-0. And what did I have the week before that?
I don't remember. I know
It was
me and Chris hit again.
it was the Colts. The Colts let the Chiefs off the hook.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the week before that. So it's been me the last 2 weeks that has torpedoed this underdog parlay. We'll see if we can feed Buster this week. Listen, Christmas is coming. He needs his Chewy box, so we got to feed Buster here. Let's go to our underdog parlay odds from DraftKings. Who is riding with the Indiana football Hoosiers?
That would be me. Just motivation. They have a pretty good team. They're well coached. Signetti is going to want to win this game. Ohio State, I don't think, really cares about Indiana or the Big Ten championship. They're just looking to repeat as national champions. Yeah, Indiana's going to win.
Give me Alabama. Obviously, this game is in Georgia, in Atlanta, the SEC Championship game. There's going to be a ton of Bulldog fans there barking. But for whatever reason, Alabama's in Kirby Smart's head. And I know Nick Saban isn't there anymore, but Kirby Smart's 1-7 against Alabama. And I think Bama knows I feel like they're in the playoff, but they really need to win this game to be in, because you don't want to put it in the committee's hands and lose this game and then be left on the outside looking in. You don't want another repeat of a situation, from the other season where they got in controversially and stuff. I don't think they want to have to worry about all that. This Alabama team beat Georgia earlier in the season. Yeah, it's hard to beat a team twice, but for whatever reason, there's certain things. When Bama goes to Auburn, it's always a close game. It's something psychological about going to Jordan Hare. And for whatever reason, when Georgia plays Bama, it gets in their head, just like Virginia Tech, except for this year when Virginia finally exercised those demons and opened up a can in Charlottesville. When you struggle like this against a rival, it gets in your head until you have an opportunity to really exercise those demons. I don't see Georgia doing that. I think Bama gets the win. They get another SEC championship. By the way, I think Kirby's smart. If I remember correctly, the stat I saw, he has 3 SEC championship game losses, and they're all to Alabama. As just wild stuff there. So give me a 4th SEC. And I know I have Georgia winning the second half, but I don't have them winning the game. I could potentially be seeing an overtime situation here in Atlanta. So, give me Alabama. And then Chris is on the Jets plus 130 at home over the Miami Dolphins, as they wear their rivalries uniforms there. Put those in the hopper on the DraftKings Sportsbook, as I did right before the show started. That comes up at plus 1078. Scotty, if Chris is picking up roadkill on the side of Interstate 64 there, and someone, as they have thrown out their trash, they accidentally threw out a $100 bill, and he picks it up and bets it, what is he going to get?
Probably hepatitis, but also $1,078.
I love that you assume that he doesn't already have hepatitis.
That's true. Well, that could be his excuse.
Yeah. Very. Yeah. So yeah, $1,078 you would win if you put $100 on this on the DraftKings Sportsbook. Look at Buster. He needs this Chewy box. We need to hit this one this week with the Christmas season coming up. And next week, Scotty, we are not going to have a lot of choices. We'll have FCS playoffs. We'll have Army Navy in week 15 of the
Well,
National Football League.
we might have to add some like non-football stuff for next week.
Maybe, maybe. So
Yeah.
we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But we will see you back here on Wednesday, 7:30 for the Let's Not Do This podcast. We'll get you ready for Thursday night football next week. I don't even know who's playing Thursday night yet. I haven't even looked at next week yet.
Yeah,
We got the Falcons and the Buccaneers from Tampa Bay. So we'll have a preview of that Thursday night for Thursday night as we do the show Wednesday night. We'll react to these conference championship games, the playoff committee, who got screwed. I'm sure there'll be some stuff there. And whatever weird news and notes that we can come about. Maybe another raccoon will get drunk at an ABC store somewhere here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. So, all right. Well, that was fun. Go Alabama. Go Who's. Go Miami of Ohio. Redhawks. Go Duke. I want to hear you say go. You know what? I'm going to clip that Go Duke. I'm just going to play that for you all basketball season because, like all Virginia Tech football fans, you're either a Duke or a Carolina basketball fan, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, right. I did like UNC when I was a kid.
Never fails, people. Just like your friendly neighborhood Laker fan, go when baseball season comes, they'll get out their Yankee hat. Football, they'll get their Cowboy jersey. We them boys.
Indeed. Go Duke football.
Or Duke lacrosse, as Chris is a fan of. All right.
Well.
We'll see you when we see you.